Also, our governing system is not set up for that. If you know your history, you'll know that FDR was the pretty much the only president to ever not keep to the tradition of a two-term presidency set up by George Washington. Now, a lot of people thought before this time that this was the law, or the way that everything was written when the Constitution was put together. That wasn't the case. Washington stepped down after his second term because he didn't want to become a king, and he didn't want the American system to basically follow in the Great British system of having a monarchy, a king at the top. It would basically ruin everything they put together with the Constitution. So he purposely stepped down and set that precedent, but it was never law. So when FDR came in, a Democrat, by the way, he actually was, president, ran not just 3, but 4 terms, set a precedent where it really angered a lot of people, and they decided to officially make it that you cannot be a president for more than 2 terms. So they went back to what Washington had originally put in place, which is excellent. Ever since then, you need a 2/3 vote from Congress to have a president have a 3rd term. This is designed in a way where it's not completely not allowed, because if there is some sort of major situation going on in the world and the leader that we have is the only way for us to get out of it, there are always exceptions to rules. So this would give the president the ability to stay in for a 3rd term in order to thwart that threat that would potentially ruin America. And so that's why a lot of people are talking about this as Trump taking a 3rd term. Now, will Trump take a 3rd term? I don't know. Nobody knows. I know they're working towards this, but I can tell you one thing. The only way he would get a 3rd term is if he gets a 2/3 vote from Congress. So he absolutely needs that in order to do it. And right now, he doesn't have 2/3 majority of Congress with the Republicans or even pro-Trump people, because there are some Republicans that have been voting against him while he's in office in the 2nd term, basically acting like rhinos and, voting against him and his agenda for certain things. So he has definitely less than 2/3 of Congress on his side. So I don't see how he's going to get this done unless when the midterms come, wins a majority of Republicans by far. And that would only happen through an act of God. So if God decides Trump's going to have a 3rd term, then during the midterms, you're going to see a lot of Republicans flip the seats of the Democrats that were holding them for all these years, and it's going to be unprecedented. If that happens, I would say Trump probably takes a 3rd term. But if that doesn't happen, I find it highly unlikely unless they find some other loophole where they could figure this out in some way. But as far as I know, you need a 2/3 vote from Congress. He doesn't have that right now. I just don't see it happening.